Joining us is Assistant Commissioner Peter Dein, Head of Counter Terrorism and Special Tactics Command, New South Wales Police. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Nigel. It's a pleasure.
Peter, what's the New South Wales Police's role in counter-terrorism, given the role of federal agencies and their powers?
The federal system provides a jurisdictional system which requires that states and territories have total autonomy over their own patches, so to speak. So New South Wales has total autonomy over what happens in New South Wales, and therefore we are responsible for anything to do with counter-terrorism in our state, as is the case with other states and territories. The Commonwealth certainly has a number of terrorism powers, but again the system allows us as states to police those powers. So therefore we can use those powers in a joint relationship with the federal agencies.
What have you learned from counter-terrorism police operations overseas where bombings have occurred?
We've learnt a lot from overseas. Luckily in Australia we have not been the subject of a terrorist attack in modern times. But of course we look to the experiences overseas in Europe and Asia and the Middle East, and we can learn a lot. It gives us fantastic insight into how we can prepare for a terrorist attack, how we can prevent a terrorist attack if possible, and most importantly how we can respond in the event that one does occur. We learn from those experiences especially in relation to how we can coordinate with all the other agencies that we have available to us in Australia. For instance, in New South Wales, if we were unlucky enough to suffer a terrorist attack, we need to coordinate with all the other agencies that may be involved, such as the New South Wales Ambulance, the New South Wales Fire Brigade, Health, Transport, Community Services, etc. And the information and the experience we get from overseas helps us to plan and prepare along those lines.
Do you believe that the threat of terrorism in Australia has to a large extent subsided? Should we continue to maintain a high level of alertness?
The simple answer is no. The threat has not subsided, and we do need to maintain a high level of alertness. The mere fact that we have not had a terrorist attack in Australia, at least in modern times, is probably not itself a good enough reason to start to relax. We can see what's happening around the world, mainly in Asia and the Middle East, but also in Europe, and we can get indications from that the threat is still there. Further to that, we can't relax at the moment because there are processes in place and there's information at hand which has left or kept the national security level at medium, and that level indicates to us that a terrorist attack may well occur. And that's based on a lot of background information, intelligence, and what is known to the security and law enforcement agencies in Australia.
Peter, what do you mean by medium alert? Does that mean that there's something happening now which needs further investigation?
The alert level of medium is set by the Commonwealth Government and it is done in consultation with the jurisdictions. What it means is there's enough information in our counter-terrorism environment from within Australia and from overseas that indicates to us that we still need to remain at a certain level of alertness in the event that we happen to suffer a terrorist attack. The meaning of medium is simple. It simply says that a terrorist attack could occur in Australia. Therefore, that tells us that we need to set our level of prevention and preparation to a point where we consider enough is being done for the purpose of addressing the problem.
Peter, what can ordinary people do to help police in their counter-terrorism efforts?
Well, certainly remain alert. And it's a cliche that's often used, but it's a very important cliche. Remain alert, but not alarmed. There are two very good websites on the internet. One is the Commonwealth website, nationalsecurity.gov.au, and there's a New South Wales website, secure.nsw.gov.au. They both provide advice to people about how they can help. It's very simple. Keep an eye out for suspicious activity. Report it. Report it to the National Security Hotline, which is on 1800 123 400, or their local police. Keep abreast of the news. Governments use the news as a means by which people can be informed about any threats that take place. So it's a simple matter of remaining alert and reporting suspicious activity.
Finally, Peter Dein, your presentation to the 3rd Annual Counter Terrorism Summit in Melbourne in October will look at interoperability. What points will you cover?
There's a very important point which relates to our joint arrangements with other agencies. Because, fortunately, we have not suffered a terrorist attack in modern times, we have to rely upon the skills and the resources and the experiences of others who have suffered such an act. Therefore, it's so important for us to join forces with other people. So interoperability means that we in New South Wales have joined forces with the Australian Federal Police, with the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation and with the New South Wales Crime Commission into a concept called a Joint Counter Terrorism Team. And we have co-located and we have cooperated for the purpose of using our resources, skills and experience for the purpose of addressing the problem of counter-terrorism in New South Wales. And that will be a focal point of my presentation in Melbourne.
Assistant Commissioner Peter Dein, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to your presentation at the conference.
Thank you, and so do I. Thank you, Nigel.